Well, hello, everyone. Listen, I am so excited for today's episode. I am joined by none other than Align and Shine Dana Lawson. She is a menopause coach. And guess what? I want you guys to see what we're going to be talking about today. And part of it is hopefully some things that I'm not even going to say hopefully. I know that there are some things that you all have questions about. So I'm going to share with you what today's topic is, and then when we come back after this short, brief intro, I want you all to get your wheels spinning about what it is that you have in regards to conversations, questions about today's topic, because I made it like so broad, however, yet filled with what I know you all have questions about, because it was derived from comments that I see in the menopause group. So hold tight, listen to this intro, and then get your pen and pad, get your iPad, get your phone, and start writing down those questions. Welcome to tonight's Menopause Mixer. Today's special guest is Dana Lawson, Menopause Coach of Align and Shine Now. We're going to be talking about navigating hormonal health through menstrual cycles, PMS, and menopause. I'm sure you all have tons of questions, and guess what? We're going to hopefully answer them tonight on our Menopause Mixer. Make sure that you drop any questions or comments that you have in the chat. We look forward to discussing them with you soon. See, I told you exactly what I said. Good evening, Dana. Hello, and welcome to the Menopause Mixer. How are you?
Hey, Delana, I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
Me too. I always get excited. You know what? I say I do these monthly. I should be doing them weekly, honestly. Even though I have conversations with ladies back and forth, they're like, we can't wait for like just a month. This menopause thing is like every single day, and we need more of this like every single day.
I know.
They probably would invite us to do this every single day if they could, right? To have these talks. And
Yes.
it brings me joy to be able to talk with wonderful women like yourself who are also in this space sharing information about menopause, its impact, how we can embrace it, how can we really change the conversation around it, how can we really feel like this is part of our feminine evolution, right?
Yes.
Everything, embrace the hot flashes, the brain fog, the hormonal roller coaster, just like everything that comes with it, right?
Exactly. Because this is part once we're in it from for the duration, right, Delana?
Absolutely. So I'm gonna need you guys to like just embrace this thing. Like we've got to, the same way you see us coming on here smiling and laughing and we're not crying, although I'm sure at moments we all could find something to cry about. We really want this conversation to be changed, and we want us to kind of bring joy into this, what we call our the final act, if you will, of our reproductive health is this menopause. So Dana, I want to start off tonight. Now, we said we're going to be talking about hormonal health and really navigating really what that is, because it is truly the epitome and the foundation of how we experience menopause, right? So we just start off really just talking about just the importance of hormonal health in general, not even as it relates to menopause, PMS, our menstrual cycles, but just how important is our hormonal health?
Yeah. Delana, I'm so glad you asked that question because, prior to this transition, I really didn't understand how hormones worked. I knew they existed. I had heard of them, but I didn't know how they work. And it blew my mind when I learned that hormones control not just reproduction, but every single metabolic function in the body.
Yes.
So from, regulating our sinus rhythm, the heart, how our brain works and how our memories and things get stored, how we retain information, even up to how we store, utilize, and burn glucose, everything, our digestion, our immune cells, our immune health, all of those things are related to hormonal activity. So hormone health in general is something that really should be on all of our minds as women from puberty and beyond. Don't you agree?
Absolutely. And I highlighted you as you were describing those things because I really wanted to hone in on the importance. So, although we're talking about just one segment of the importance of hormonal health, I want women to really just kind of get the idea, right, of what we're talking about when we say hormonal health. You know, you talked about digestion, your brain function, your glucose. It truly does, it, like I said, it's the foundation, like the really the nucleus, if you will, of how things will be experienced, how it plays out, how it, we won't experience certain things, how we will experience certain things, all based on our hormonal health. Now, I want to take this opportunity to say um, that the information that we're sharing, some of it is clinical, some of it's, medical, but by no means is this advice for you to do, anything. It's really meant for educational and informational purposes. You all have followed me long enough. You all have seen that most information that I share, I generally will come from two um, points of view, and that is from a personal point of view and then also from a clinical point of view with a medical disclaimer. I always say follow up this information with your primary care provider, your healthcare practitioner. Okay, so
Absolutely.
we're just truly in this space empowering you around the information that we're providing. So, having said that, everything that Dana said is absolutely, absolutely true when we look at hormones. And I know when we think about menopause, we think about, oh, estrogen. Girl, blame it on estrogen. Blame it on your friend estrogen. She ain't the only one that you need to worry about. Okay. She
Yeah.
is primarily, one of the ones to worry about. But you've got several other ones who are, kind of, they're guilty too. They can lay some blame, blame it on them as well. And that being progesterone, testosterone, you've got quite a bit of a mixture of, you got your FSH. There's a lot of hormones that really play into this particular part through our reproductive health, but there's other hormones that also play that need to be regulated and monitored throughout this particular part of your life as we experience menopause. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
So outside of estrogen, Dana, please explain, or maybe just kind of do this hormonal soup with us as it
Yeah.
relates to which should we be looking at as it relates to hormones.
Yeah, and I love how you put that because everybody wants to blame everything on estrogen, whether it's good or whether it's bad, right?
Mhm.
But like you said, they all the hormones work together. So there's
Absolutely.
not just one thing that is causing a domino effect. The thing that happened is we're aging, and
Yes.
that includes our reproductive organs
Mhm.
and where our hormones are manufactured in different glands, but primarily in the ovaries is
Mhm.
where our estrogen is made and testosterone is made. So it's interesting because I call estrogen, I like the phrase that Dr. Lindsay Berkson uses. She calls it estrogen like a princess or the
Uh-huh.
queen bee, because she's modulating, regulating, she's doing her thing in all of the body systems. And then progesterone, and which, like you mentioned earlier, the estrogen causes cell growth.
Mhm.
It promotes growth, healing, and repair. So sometimes people stop when they hear growth because they're like, oh no, we don't,
Right.
they think of growth out of control,
Right.
right?
Mhm.
But we're talking about controlled, modulated growth. And who controls that? Progesterone.
Progesterone.
And so we call progesterone the police because it kind of polices and makes sure that estrogen plays nice in the sandbox with the rest of the, with the rest of the hormones. So those two have like a really nice yin and yang balance
Yep.
where, when they're in the proper amounts, they're doing what needs to be done during reproduction, making the uterine lining grow, and then stops at a point where progesterone is higher during that, monthly cycle.
Right.
And then the shedding happens at the
Hmm.
end of the month. So we need a really nice balance, but testosterone is important for bones and for hair, for motivation, for the brain, for sex drive.
Yep.
So we need adequate levels of testosterone as well.
Hmm.
And DHEA kind of plays the, what does your body need? Do you
Right.
need more estrogen? Do you need more testosterone? And so, that's where DHEA comes in. And then cortisol, right? We need cortisol
Oh
that
yeah,
at,
that's one of my faves. Okay.
yeah. I'm a morning person. It seems like you might be too, Delana.
I wasn't before, and the funny thing is, menopause pushed me into being a morning person. It's like, wait a minute, okay, I never really was a morning person, but it seems like as I started to enter into perimenopause, Dana, I was like, okay, what we doing? Okay, time to go. I never really was like that. I would crawl into the morning. Not that I, loathed it, but
Yeah.
now it's like I'm just,
Firing on all
yeah,
cylinders.
just firing off. Like, wait a minute, what's going on?
That's hilarious, but it's true because that cortisol is the hormone that wakes us up in the morning. And I think you might agree, Delana, that between estrogen and cortisol, those two hormones get a bad rap.
They do. They absolutely
And
do.
we need them. We need
Yeah.
them in balanced amounts. Cortisol helps us to have that wake up, that desire to wake up in the morning, that aliveness.
Makes sense.
And so as long as we're having that appropriate cortisol awakening response in the morning, and it kind of tapers off during the day, and at night it drops off, and then we feel tired, then
Mhm.
it's all good.
Yeah.
But it's when there's an imbalance because of lack of estrogen that, then we have an imbalance of these hormones, and then the body's like, oh no, she doesn't have enough estrogen for the bodily functions, and so the body then gets stressed
Yeah.
and cortisol spikes. And so that's how those hormones play
Right.
in together.
Difficult when you don't understand because it can become frustrating. And then you kind of get into this whole snowball effect. So I want to put a comment up here from Christina. Welcome, Christina, and Melissa, who's joining us. Christina said she is no longer a morning person, and it looks like she's blaming that on insomnia, which is, as you
Oh,
know, one of those unfortunate symptoms of menopause. So let's talk. And then you just touched on it, which is why I wanted to put that up there. So insomnia, as we know, like you said, can be very cyclical, and it can be some reasons for that. And as it relates to the lack of estrogen, right? And then not having enough cortisol on board. And so what are some ways that we can combat that, um, and or some things that impact our hormonal regulation or balance? I struggle with using that word balance because it's like, it's like kind of goes up and down, but hormonal harmony is
yeah,
what I call hormonal harmony.
right.
Things that kind of that we can do that may impact our hormonal harmony.
Yeah, and I'm so sorry. Is Christina the one that mentioned that the
Christina, and we also have Melissa who just commented. She said, I had bad insomnia last week.
yeah,
Yeah, a lot of people, women rather, I should say, do struggle with insomnia. It's right up there with the hot flashes.
yeah.
As you know, having hot flashes or having night sweats does impact the insomnia, and it just begins this vicious cycle. So, let's kind of talk a little bit about that and how we can maybe focus on having hormone harmony,
Yeah.
may well help us to regulate that insomnia.
Yes, yes. And so we want our hormones to play nice with each other, right? The ones that we have left. But So when it comes to insomnia, we've got a couple of things that are going on. So because we're losing estrogen, our ovaries are aging, it's not producing the amount of estrogen that we need. And remember, ladies, in order for your bodies to produce progesterone, you need to ovulate first, right, Delana? Because your body's going to produce the estrogen first, but from the corpus luteum, then comes later on in the cycle comes progesterone.
Right.
So it's healthy, it's normal, and needed, necessary to ovulate. So if ovulation is kind of sputtering a little bit because estrogen levels are going up and down like they
Mhm.
do in perimenopause, then your progesterone levels are also going to suffer.
Right.
And so progesterone is that hormone that helps keeps us calm and soothes the nervous system. And when we don't have enough of it, then we are going to start that waking up during the night. You either have trouble falling asleep, staying asleep, or both.
Right.
I know I did that too. How was your sleep, Delana?
It was like that. And I had no idea what was going on. So, of course, as women, we are so guilty for this. So, I think I probably went down the list of the reasons why before I explored truly what it was that was going on, with me. I kept saying, oh, I'm taking on this new role, I'm starting this whole new, so I'm really finding reasons within reason for why I was, like you said, having a difficult time falling asleep or staying asleep. So I started to do simple things such as, create this wind down window for myself, cut off the laptop, turn off social media. Like I started to create that so that I could prepare myself for sleep because I wasn't doing that. And so that worked for a while. And then until it didn't. And so I said, it's not that. And I began to explore. And then, like you said, started to really watch what was happening and what was going on because again, I didn't have this knowledge of this whole perimenopause. These
Mhm.
conversations that you and I are having, they were probably few far in between. I don't think that, we're having them enough or making them as public enough or saying it in layman's terms so that, Christina and Melissa and Melanie and whoever else is, listening to us can really hear it for themselves and apply it to their own lives, right? We
Yeah,
don't need to have these high level conversations. We need to have good girlfriends conversations about what we're experiencing, right?
yes.
That they can then take that information and apply it back to their own lives and see is that what they're, experiencing themselves, or can they see themselves going through this or making these changes or having these conversations? So,
Mhm.
yeah, it's like I felt like I was going crazy.
I know, girl. I used to sleep so well, and I mean, by the time I hit my head hit the pillow, I mean, if I didn't say my prayers in enough time, I mean, I'd be out.
Right.
And so when waking, what got me was the night sweats
Yes.
would wake me up. And then you're hot, and then you have the fan going, and then you're freezing, and then you put the covers up. It's like that on and off all night. I mean,
Yes.
and then think about it, like you just said, we didn't get. I mean, my mom didn't tell me about this.
This is what I got from menopause, and everybody laughs when I talk about this. Now, my mom was a nurse as well for 20 some odd years. Okay,
Wow.
this is what I got. That was my menopause lesson. That don't. I got this a fan. I just remember her fanning. That was
Wow.
it. Or sticking her head in the freeze. Like there was no conversation about it,
Yeah.
right? So again, this is why we have to have these good girlfriend conversations. Look at this. Poor Christina said, I thought it was the flashes waking her up. Hold on, wait a second. Christina, she said, I thought it was the flashes waking me up out of her sleep. And then we have Melissa who's saying, I'm in perimenopause
Mhm.
and Lord help
Help me. Yes, sister. I know.
me. And now she wants to know, Christina, is there a supplement to take? So first, I would say start with, and I'm sure Dana can kind of add on to this to support. There are, natural supplements available. We can kind of talk about some of them as well. There are some over-counter things that you can do. There's also some things you can go see your primary care provider about. Um, but what I say is you have to take the time to track your experience, track your symptoms, right?
That.
You can't just go in saying, oh, I'm flashing, oh, I'm hot, I can't sleep at night. When I took the time to say, girl, something is not right. You ain't sleeping, but it ain't got nothing to do with what you think it does. Like there's something a little deeper going on. So when I took the time to really, really, really record, see what it was I was eating, doing, all, I mean, took the time to really figure it out, that's when I was able to, number one, really identify that I was in perimenopause. Number two, decide that if I just shifted some things as far as what I was doing during the day, what I was eating, what I was drinking, it helped to minimize my hot flashes. They didn't totally disappear, but I was no longer miserable in a way that I felt like, listen, just bury me in ice. Like, just bury me in ice. Girl, I'm not lying. I was like, look, just
Put
bury
me
me
on
in ice.
some ice.
Right. I can't go from Alaska to Hawaii in 2 seconds. It ain't working. Bury
Ooh.
me in ice. So I would employ you to do the, tracking of your journey for about a good week. I always say like a week to 10 days. And then from there, begin to determine if there's just some simple lifestyle changes you can make that can minimize your experiences with the hot flashes and the insomnia. And then we can talk about some supplements. But what are some supplements that you just give like two? Oh, hold on a
Oh,
second.
there we go.
Okay, I'm sorry. There was a little janky there. Maybe one or two supplements, Dana, that you think, or maybe even that you've used yourself that you found to be
Mhm.
helpful.
Yeah. But before I do that, I want to
Sure.
totally agree with you. We live in a society where it's like when things get uncomfortable, we just want them to end right now.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
We don't stop and take the time. Your body is sending you a message. Your body is trying to tell you something. So we need to know what that message is.
Mm-hmm.
And I totally agree. Tracking your symptoms, and also your food, your sleep, your stress, how much exercise and movement you're getting. Because here are some top things that if you want to be woken up at night with a
Mm-hmm.
hot flash, I mean a night sweat, or have an uncomfortable night of sleep, here, these are not supplements, ladies, but these are just lifestyle things.
Mm-hmm.
Sugar and alcohol.
Yeah.
Sorry, not sorry, but that's just the way it is.
Yep.
You
Mm-hmm.
have dessert at night, before you go to bed, or a cocktail before you go to bed, you are guaranteed to have a hot flash. And the reason why, yeah,
And I learned that after I was tracking my symptoms because I
that's
said,
what
you
I
know,
did.
have me a glass of red wine or whatever I'm doing, and
Yeah.
honey, baby, what in
What's
bury me in ice?
happening here?
What in here? And it wasn't until I said, oh, that is it.
Yes,
And
yes,
once the high flat
yes,
girl, I was like,
yes. So
girl.
am I saying never have a glass of wine?
Right.
Never
Look, it's so funny you said that. Christina just said, what? No wine. No, you can still have wine because your girl, look, when I get finished, look, the wine diva. Okay, you see this? The wine diva. I'll get my wine in. Okay. All right. Yeah.
Here's what I tell my clients though. I tell them, if you're going to, because like you said, I mean, there are special occasions and things
Mhm,
that you're going to go to that are going to serve dessert and wine.
mhm,
Those are some of the pleasures in life. And so it's not that you can't have those things, but you have to be very strategic about it.
mhm,
So if you can have it earlier in the day,
mhm.
the better.
Right.
If you have some movement after 20 to 30 minutes of, nothing too strenuous, because then you don't want to send your cortisol up,
Right.
and then you can't sleep. But,
Mhm,
maybe do a 20 or 30 minute walk around the neighborhood. Same thing if you have a cupcake, some ice cream, a piece of cake, something.
mhm.
Make sure it's early enough during the day that you can utilize that sugar. It's not
Yeah.
staying in your bloodstream,
Right.
causing your hormones to get imbalanced, and then
Mhm.
you have a really difficult night of sleep.
Absolutely. Yep. You have to mitigate that. It's almost like the treat and then comes, kind of mitigating so that you don't have that sugar and insulin spike that they're running all night. And that
Exactly.
was what I would do. And I would have my, have a, oh, the girl, you did good today. And have my glass of wine. And Christina, who is a nurse practitioner, she said, girl, I am a healthcare provider. I need my wine after dealing with them patients. Okay.
Oh my. So then that leads me to talking about stress, right, Delana?
Yeah.
Because that is a key contributor
Mhm.
to how we will experience menopause
Absolutely.
and perimenopause. And when I say menopause, I mean that whole menopausal transition, from peri all the way through, because stress is a leading factor in how our body responds
Yeah.
to whatever the stressor is.
Mhm.
So I think someone asked earlier about some sleep tips, or help
Yes.
for
Mhm.
insomnia.
Insomnia.
So first of all, we can't think of sleep as just happening at night.
Yeah.
I tell my clients that if getting a better night's sleep means your sleep starts in the daytime.
Mhm.
When that light hits your eyes, right? It tells your brain that it's morning. It helps that cortisol awakening response. It sends those messages to your brain for those hormones to be acting in your behalf during the day. So
Absolutely.
if
That
you get
harmony we talked about, right?
harmony, right, playing good in the sandbox.
Mhm.
So the best thing for us to do is to get daylight.
Mhm.
And if we work, in offices or in medical sessions, that may be a challenge, especially if you have to be there very early. But get some daylight,
Yeah.
at least by 10 a.m., even if it's 5 or 10 minutes. If you do that consistently, it helps to reset the circadian rhythm. And that's that day and night cycle that our bodies and the
Mhm.
world is on, right? That's how,
Mhm.
things work in the world. So resetting the circadian rhythm can really help in setting you up for a good night's sleep.
Right.
And I also
Exactly.
say having a good nighttime routine like the one you have.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm telling you,
You
that
said you
does
start
help.
an hour before.
Yep. Having a routine to be able to kind of stop that brain from firing off those synapses. Having those, I said to people, I tell my clients, I'm like, shut down the browsers, like on your computer. We all have so many things, like the tabs. I can show you right now on my laptop. There's like 10 of them open. It's like you have all these tabs open. Begin to just close the tabs. Like you got to close the tabs, shut them down, and create.
That's a great analogy because
Yeah.
that's like how the brain works.
Yep, shut those tabs down, close them so that we get into, like you said, that REM sleep, right? Changing our circadian rhythm so that we actually get into, our rapid eye movement, dreamy state. Because if we don't, that's why we wake up tired. You'll be like, oh, well, I went to bed at 10 and I woke up at 8. I've got 8 hours of sleep. No, you didn't. Girl, you
Right.
closed your eyes for 8 hours, but you didn't get to sleep.
Yeah.
So you have to get into that place where you're actually sleeping because that's where the magic happens for us for the next day is during our restful sleep. So,
Yes, that
mhm.
brain detoxes at night. Our body, certain times of the night, according to Ayurvedic medicine, we have the detox of the lungs, the
Yeah.
liver, the gallbladder. I mean, all of our, big organs that need detoxification because as they're working during the day, they're giving off waste products. You have
Absolutely.
to
So
get
we
rid
gotta
of them.
reset. Yep, gotta reset. And they do that at night when they're not
Yep.
having to work and think and do.
Yes.
So closing this out, I want to kind of just have like a discussion, and you've given us some amazing tips. And then I want you to share with them because I know that you have an amazing freebie. Your Align and Shine Now is her website, and she's always on Instagram going live and sharing some amazing information about menopause. So I wanted you to just share maybe one or two things that we can do to improve our hormonal harmony, our hormonal health harmony. What are some things that we can do today? I always like to leave women with what can I do tonight? What can I do today? What's something that won't take a whole lot of thought outside of what we've already shared about, creating this, not tracking your symptoms, number one, of course, and then creating this ritual, this routine
Yes.
for us to wind down in the evening. Outside of that, what are some other things that we could do to just help with that hormonal harmony.
Yeah. And since we were talking about sleep, one thing that's really simple that we could do to contribute to a night's sleep, in addition to what you said, Delana, about taking that time to wind down, to shut those browsers down.
Yes.
Make sure your room is cool,
Mm-hmm.
dark, and quiet.
Yeah. Create
Right?
an environment.
Create a spa-like environment in
Yeah.
your bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
Um, don't run the TV. Don't have a TV in there if you don't have to. You want that bedroom to be a respite for you, so that you come in there to rejuvenate.
Mm-hmm.
And so cool, like between 65 and 68 degrees. Um, Dark, whether you use darkening shades or even a sleep mask. I use a sleep mask at
Yeah.
night. And changing from overhead light to maybe lamp light,
Mm-hmm.
so
Okay.
that your body, like during that hour that you're winding down,
Right.
you can create that atmosphere. That darker light or that milder light is telling your body, hey, it's time to start settling down. It's time to
Right.
start settling down.
Mm-hmm.
So those are some really easy things that you could do tonight.
Right. Yeah, I was gonna say I can think of right, exactly. I can that to me is like some small adjustments
Yeah.
that I believe that, the ladies can, make tonight. Y'all can go do them right now. I mean, like after we end, you can go in your room and start making some adjustments, putting on those lamp light, just really making the environment so that
Candles.
yeah, your body will know, okay, this is where I'm going to retire, respite, as you say, this is where I'm going to sleep. Don't make it, all bright and, a bunch of noise and think, because again, it's like, oh, okay, what we getting ready to do, right?
Right.
On to that as well.
Yeah.
Melissa, she is so crazy. She said, "Uh-oh, I'm eating watermelon. Does it have a high glycemic profile, high glycemic index?"
Ah, I'm not sure. What do you think, Delana?
Yes, watermelon. Okay, so watermelon is obviously good. What take
Yeah.
the part of the watermelon. It does this time of day, 7:30 at night. Watermelon reminds me of sort of like a diuretic or Lasix. It's number one, Melissa. It will
Yeah.
have you going to the restroom probably for the next hour, hour or two. So you probably should eat it earlier in the day. As far as the glycemic index, it's sort of in the middle. It's not up there with our berry family, like a strawberry, a blueberry, and all of those. Those are all good for you, or a banana. They're good for you as well, but they are in the high glycemic index profile. So watermelon's sort of like mid. If I had to choose, y'all know I use that whole scale of good, better, best. It falls somewhere where in the better category. It's good, better, or best for you. So it's sort of like in the better category. It's not bad. It ain't the best thing for you. So I would say you're fine, but I would probably try to eat it a little bit earlier because that can lend to the disruption in your sleep as
Sleep.
well to get
Yeah.
up and go to the restroom. Okay.
Yeah.
So again, this goes back to what me and Dana said 15 minutes ago, y'all. Track your symptoms and what you're eating. If you look at it and say, oh, I ate watermelon at 7:30, 8 o'clock, and now I'm up, going to the restroom 9, 10 o'clock, so that's breaking your sleep cycle as well and preventing you from getting into a state of wanting to rest and go to sleep. So it's just little things like that, you guys, that we got to think about. I love me some watermelon too, but you won't catch me eating it late. I can promise you that, because that, or I'm gonna put on, it depends, because I already know. Girl, no, the bladder ain't good like it used to be.
Yeah, it's not.
No, 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 no,
That's
no.
another conversation, right? And
I think I just found what my topic will be. That pelvic wall. Listen. Them cake.
yes.
Get it out.
Yes.
Get it out. So, yeah, Melissa, put that book down. Okay.
We love you, Melissa.
All right. So I want to put Dana's website up so you all can make sure that you go and visit her website, Align and Shine Now, and look on her website. She's got I know a membership on there. There's also going to be a freebie that I'm going to put in the chat, so go and look there as a resource that she's providing to us. So I would love for you all to go and download. I'm always about the freebies. Okay.
Yes, get you your freebie, ladies.
Yes, you got to have the freebies. Christina said Kegels. Yes, the Kegels. Okay. We got to do the Kegels. All right, hold on. Let me see if I can get your
Do I
link.
need to? I can put it in again if you
Yes, see
like.
if you can put it in there now.
Yeah.
You should be able
I
to
thought
log
I,
in.
how do I send?
It's in the private section. So see if it'll
Yep.
let you put it in there.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So there is a link tree in the chat. So even if you're watching this on the replay, ladies, the messages will be in there. So again, or if not, go to alignandshine.com and get in touch with Dana, and she will give you the information on her freebie and her resources that she has. Also, follow her on Instagram at Align and Shine Now. So that is how I found her. She and I kind of, it's like, yep, 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 yep. Make sure you tell them that. And she was sharing such great information. And, in this space, you look for people who have the same passion about educating and empowering us around this whole menopause journey, right? And so the more people that we have to talk about it, the more people that share this information, the more people that have the same vision of us experiencing it, of being more than just
Right. Oh my
we
God.
absolutely want that to let me see, maybe I can put it on.
I thought I put it in here, but the return is not. Oh, there we
Oh,
go. Did
there
I?
it goes. Okay, I was just getting ready to say if I
Sorry.
yep, there it is. And then I'm gonna put it on the screen too. So it's basically the link tree here, and I'm going to put it right here. I love it. And then, ladies, make sure that you any questions that you have that you did not get an opportunity to share today, I want you all to put them in the group, the Black Women in Menopause support group, again, or go on to, if you're watching it on YouTube stream or on Facebook, I or my assistant will go back, we'll get those questions, and we always get them answered within 24 hours, okay? And then if not, you can reach out to myself personally or to Dana Lawson again on Align and Shine Now. So here is the link tree for that, so you can go and grab your freebie.
Get
Dana,
your freebie. Yes.
yes.
It's the skinny on menopause. That's what it's called. And
Ooh,
so
I like
it has
that.
a list of, the age ranges for each stage of menopause, or just the three major ones, and
Right.
then
Okay.
the symptoms that are common with each stage, and then how you should move forward. Like how do you pick a provider?
Right.
We talked about tracking symptoms. What are some things that you can do to empower yourself, so
Absolutely.
that when you do speak to your provider, that both of you can be on the same page. You can really partner together on
Mhm.
your health.
Exactly. And select the best course of action for you. Like, what does that look like? So that you, again, you have to, when you're in there, be able to align your thoughts so that your provider can follow along and then make the best recommendations for you as well. So
Yeah.
again, alignandshine.com. Dana Lawson. She is on Instagram. Do you have a Facebook as well? I know for sure you're on Instagram. I follow you.
Yes. Yeah. So Instagram and Facebook are the same, at
Okay.
Align and Shine Now.
Oh, perfect. All right. So I know some of my followers are more IG people and some are more
Right.
Facebook people. So whichever platform you prefer, make sure that you go and follow Dana. Thank you so much for being an amazing special guest
Thank
for
you.
tonight's Menopause Mixer. I'm sure we will have more conversations and there will be more opportunity for us to talk with the ladies about just menopause. Again, I love these mixers because they are very generic, or should I say organic, not generic, organic in conversation. And I like that we take questions. It's not just us
Mhm.
providing information and the empowerment. It truly is engaging and having real time, real now solutions and actionable things for women to do. So thank you so much, Dana, and I look forward to
Elena,
sharing with you.
yeah, thank you so much for having me. You've created an amazing platform for women to get their questions answered, community, sisterhood,
Yes.
like no conversations off limits.
No.
You want to, your platform is very empowering. And I'm so glad that we connected on Instagram.
Me too. Thank you. So, all right, ladies, good night. If you're watching this on replay, don't forget, post your questions and we will put hashtag replay and we'll make sure we get them answered. All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.